Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of what is to be the second season of the official SkyTemple podcast. My name is Smingle and I just wanted to give a huge thanks to Yakko and MaxSchersey for letting me take the reins for this season, as well as to the community in general for the wonderful response we've gotten to getting this back up and running. It's truly been amazing. In today's interview, we're going to be speaking to Okami, who is the mind behind the Lonely Road story, as well as the hack he submitted for this hack jam called Outlaw's Paradise, a Lonely Road story, a sort of special episode EX for the Lonely Roads universe, which I, and I'm sure many of you, have terribly enjoyed playing. Right, so I'm joined by the creator of Outlaw's Paradise, a Lonely Road story. Hello, Okami, how are you doing today?
Yo, what's up?
Very chill. I like it a lot. So just a very quick question to start off. Like, how did it go? Just in general, like a big, broad question. How did it go this hack jam? Are you proud of what you accomplished? Are you feeling good about your submission?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. I knew what the story was going to be months ago because the plan always was to make a special episode for the main hack and submit that as a hack jam entry.
Okay.
But unfortunately, there was just so much in this hack that it's impossible to import over.
Okay.
So it's going to remain as its own hack.
Cool.
But it's basically like an unofficial special episodes. I don't know if you'd call it 3 or 6 because 2 are made so far. This is the third one.
Yeah,
and I plan on filling out all 5 of the slots, but this will be like the unofficial 6th one because it's its own hack.
Yeah, cool. I like that. So it really is like a sub story, even like a special episode plus, if you will. It's like it's its own sort of mini game that's connected. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I think you did really well with it. I really enjoyed my time with it, and it's good to know that you're happy with it as well. So you always knew that this going into this hack jam that it was going to be this Lonely Roads sub story. It was.
Oh yeah, I knew it like 3 months ago.
Okay.
And I knew exactly what the story was going to be. It was going to be for. I don't know if this is going to be spoilers or not, but I don't know why you'd listen to this if you didn't play the hack. But,
don't worry about that.
I always knew it was going to be a story for Armaldo because everyone loves him.
Yeah,
and
that's definitely true.
I was like, I didn't like how Sky just kind of leaves him, like he's just gone from existence at the end of the second special episode. And I'm like, well, I want him to have, his own story. And that's what I made. And I actually did hint to it in the original main hack where, if you notice, Pucciana's in the hack, and he mentions how he met a friend in prison. This was way back in part 2, which I released 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was always going to be Armaldo. So I did plan it very far in advance.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool to know you've had it in your head since that far back. You said you wanted to create a story for Armaldo. Did you always want to do that even before Lonely Road started? Did you always want to make some of really? So did that start far back as when you first played that special episode?
Oh yeah, he was always going to be in the plans. I didn't know how he was going to be in the plans when I first started, but I'm like, he's going in no matter what.
You must really love him, man. That special episode was very, very good, but I think a lot of people got attached to Armaldo thanks to that.
Yeah, I love my favorite characters are him and Team Skull, who I really want to make a hack for as well. They did nothing wrong.
I really want to make a hack for Team Skull as well. They deserve more love, and they also don't appear after the in the post game at all.
They fucking disappear.
They disappear after Brine Cave. You never see them again. It's very strange. Cool. So what
couldn't have been the intention?
Yeah, I don't know.
They must have had something planned that they cut.
Maybe there was a special episode for them, but yeah. Anyway, what was your inspiration for? Yeah, what was your inspiration for the pit then? Because the whole hack is centered around this sort of prison fight club. What was your inspiration for that?
You ever play Paper Mario?
I have not. No.
Well, in the Thousand Year Door, which I think is probably in like the top 10 games ever made, one of the chapters is you have to get to the top of the fight club that they have in the game, and there's 20 fights, and you have to get to the top of it, and that was basically the whole inspiration, including the gimmick where you swap partners, because in Paper Mario you swap partners
right,
for
yes,
each
of
fight.
course. Yeah.
So that was the inspiration for it.
Really? Okay.
And
cool.
I'm not good at dungeons, so doing this was an excuse to not only fulfill the gimmick, which is fixed rooms, but also not make dungeons.
You must have been very happy that the gimmick was fixed rooms.
Oh, I was ecstatic because I knew like this. I knew like that was one of the ideas I had, which was like a fight club. And when I saw fixed rooms, and I'm like, oh my god, it's meant to be.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad it worked out so well for you.
And the theme. The theme was perfect too for the important memory.
Yeah.
Because the whole hack is a memory.
Yeah, yes, it's Armaldo telling the story over the campfire, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Armaldo's memory of, how he left Igglybuff in Special Episode 2, and it's the player's memory of the final words that Igglybuff said at the end.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cool. I'm
Inception.
Yeah, I mean, everything really came together for you in that sense, didn't it? Going in, you know what you wanted to make, and it just happened so well. That's very cool.
Mm. I did have a backup plan, which I still might make one day. Okay. For in the main hack, I was gonna make a episode for Zigzagoon.
Oh, really? For the drunkard Zigzagoon?
Yes, he was. I still want to make one.
How does Zigzagoon hold his glass? What does he? That's not probably the contents of the hack, but I've just thought about that myself. How does he drink?
No, the whole gimmick of the hack is he's a party animal, and he just wakes up one day. He's completely hungover from a party at the cafe, and the whole hack is him. The whole hack is him trying to get back to Treasure Town. He gets back, and he promises. And the ending would be he promises he's never going to drink again. He's not going to party again. And then immediately he gets invited to another party and he goes, oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, that sounds great. It would also be great if it ends with him saying, I'll never do this again. And then the hack just like starts over. And he wakes up in a different place. That would be great as well. He just wakes up somewhere else.
I like giving personality to characters from the original game who just like are just there.
Yeah, I think that really is one of the biggest draws of the sort of Lonely Roads, because I mean Swellow and Wurmple have got so much more than I ever thought they ever would, even though they already had more than most of the townspeople. They really
I want to make a hack for them too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's so many townspeople that are overlooked.
And I purposely kept pretty much all the townspeople. I purposely kept them all the same, just because. I wanted it to feel familiar. The only ones I replaced was Team Poochie. They were the only ones that got replaced.
Yeah. Speaking of the NPCs, will we ever see more of the prisoners introduced in Outlaw's Paradise? Will we see them again in the main hack?
Oh, I want to.
Yeah?
I want to. Maybe in the cafe or something as a cameo. None of them, I don't think, are going to have a play in the story. And some of them you probably won't see, because some of them are probably never getting out.
Oh. Yeah, I could think of one or two.
I could think of two. Shedinja's never getting out, obviously, and Lycanrock's never getting out.
Oh, no, not Lycanrock.
I know.
He did nothing wrong except kill lots of people, probably.
He's a mass murderer. Yeah. They probably deserved it.
Well, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
Cool.
So maybe some of them will have some cameos or something.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be very cool to see them.
That was the number one thing that I was proud of in the hack, actually, was creating a brand new cast and trying to make them as likable as possible.
Yeah, I think you did really
criminals.
Well. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they're all criminals, but they're all still likable. There's a fine line there somewhere. What about the Starly? There were lots of Starly in the prison with jumpsuits. Are they? What do they have to do to get in there?
don't know, but that's just a reference because I put Starlies all over the fucking place.
That's true.
So actually, what happened was Big was making her hack or they hack. I don't know, to be honest,
Right.
but they were making their hack, and they made Starly, and it had a little prison uniform on, and I'm like, I want it. I'm like, I need it. So I asked for permission. I think Kate made it, and then I got approval, and then I just put them in as both a reference to the main hack and also because they're in prison uniform. I thought it fit.
Yeah, I think it was great. Really added some personality, but it also made me just so worried about what this Starly did. But I suppose it doesn't matter.
No, they're just there for fun. But
Okay, good
that's like
stuff.
my calling card. If there's
Yeah,
Starly
yeah.
in it, that's my hack.
Oh yeah, nice. I like it. So the hack,
Not as a pro tag though.
yeah, maybe
I
not.
could never I
You
could
could
never
never
put Starly as a pro tag because it would just be so unfair. Because
really.
I would be so biased to there would be absolutely no conflict. The Starly would just run over everything
Yeah,
because
it
I
would just
couldn't bear to have it face any adversity at all.
999 in each stat. Every fight is just a breeze.
Oh yeah.
They've all got judgment. Good
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah. Um. So the hack was a series of fixed rooms. Basically, it was just a series of fights. There was no dungeon or anything like that. It was just a just back to back sort of boss rush, basically, if you will. How easy or difficult was it to come up with each fixed room for each fight? Was that process very difficult, or did
Like
you
the
was it
fixed
sort
room
of
itself, no, I kind of slapped it together.
uh, uh cool? You mean the
The
layout?
like the layout, nah, I kind of just threw it together. The only ones that I really thought of was the Soul Rock and Lunatone fight because it played into the gimmick.
Right, yeah,
And
that one did look had a sort of a lunar theme to it, didn't it? It had this sort of half moon cutting out a section
mhm,
of the area. But it was
yeah,
also
well,
it was
actually,
also so
I think you played the older version because I updated it, and
oh
now it's Lunatone has Baton Pass, and the whole gimmick is he can strand you by baton passing one of you where you can't get back to the fight, and then Soul
no,
Rock and Lunatone just gang up on the last
I
person, if that makes
I
sense.
I think I did actually play the hack with Baton Pass. You just didn't use it until very near the end of the fight.
Oh, that's right.
And
That's
you
right. Yeah, I
commented
cranked
how
it.
how aggravated you were that he didn't use it at all.
That's right. Yeah, I cranked it higher. It works now.
Good stuff. Excellent, excellent.
But and then the only other fight that I really paid a lot of attention to the layout was the layer on fight
Oh right, yeah.
because I made it exactly like the fight in Team Charm's special episode because it's the
Yes,
same
yes, that's right.
guys.
Yeah. Well, they must break out of prison at some point then because
Well, they get
they
released.
they get released. Okay. Oh
They
well,
get
that makes sense,
released.
I
They
suppose.
just don't learn.
Oh, okay.
So
What
they
about the
all grow up and they are still doing crimes. When they try to attack, when they
They
try to
didn't learn
attack Team
anything.
Charm, it doesn't work. And if you remember, they attack Team Razorwind in
Yes, that's
that
true.
special episode.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that happens. Yeah. What about the Shedinja fight? That has a sort of unique layout, doesn't it? It has the sort of hallway between the river, if you will. Is that
Kind
just
of,
so there's
that
no
one is
gimmicks?
it. That one was more. The whole gimmick of that fight was just Shedinja himself because I made him ghost dark so that you
Okay.
you physically cannot touch him with moves. So you have
Oh,
to either just throw yourself at him with basic attacks, or you have to be resourceful and win with status and stuff.
yeah.
But if you want to cheat, if you got a blast seed, it's an instant win.
Yeah, yeah. I think I used Toxic and then Wrap and didn't expect him to have
Mm.
10 HP.
I
Um,
didn't think rap would work, but apparently it does.
yeah, I was sort of half expecting it to not work either, but it doesn't really function like a regular move, does it? Um,
Nah, it doesn't. It's its own thing.
yeah. Uh,
I did nerf Survivor though. He was too strong.
was he?
Yeah, yeah. I got rid of Glare.
Oh, you got rid of glare. Okay, I can't
He
remember
had
what.
glare. I don't remember if you had him with glare or toxic, but he had glare and it was way too strong.
Yeah, he definitely had. I definitely had him
So
with toxic. Because I used
okay.
that against
So
the
yeah,
danger. But
I'm still trying to balance it a little bit, and
yeah,
I plan on making a Redux version, like a sequel to it, not a sequel, but like a definitive
yeah,
edition, if that makes
yeah.
sense. Because there's only so much you could do in 3 weeks, and I did
Oh,
have to cut
certainly.
out a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So,
I'm
uh,
definitely. I'm gonna ask you like later, like what you would have done if you had like 6 weeks to do it or something like that.
uh,
If you same amount of drive but a lot longer. But
uh,
we'll get that. We'll get to that. Um. But there's 11 fights in the hack, right? So I think there's 11. I
is
think
there?
it's, or it might be 12. 12 fixed rooms or something like that.
Uh, that's a
Just
good question. I don't really remember, to be honest. I thought
yeah.
there were 13.
Oh really? Okay. I might be wrong. I might be counting wrong. You would know best.
Well, the
Um.
last fight is 2 fights.
That's true. That's true. That is true. Uh, 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 and the reason there's so many is because you're going up the list of the fighters' rankings in the prison. We get about like halfway, a little bit more than halfway. I should think we get up to the armory, which is the fight against Leron. Um,
Hmm.
but we don't end up fighting against any of the people above that. We don't fight against, for instance, the Unbeatable One or the Uprising or Crow's Nest. Did you know what those fights would be if you got to them, or
I did, yeah, but
you did?
I had to the time crunch got to me, so
Oh, yeah.
I did know what they were gonna be, and Sunk actually gave me the idea for the unbeatable one. It was just
Oh,
gonna be a
really?
Charizard.
Ah, oh, oh no, please. Oh, spare me.
So,
What about
so
I mean, you don't have to spoil anything, but what about question mark, question mark, question mark, right at the top of the rankings? Who?
it was because I couldn't figure out who I wanted to be the champ. I wanted it to
Ah,
be a mystery until you got to the top,
okay.
but it was actually going to be Rampardos.
Oh, okay. I
But
figured that might be possible, but
yeah, but I didn't have time to fully explain why, so I just kind
okay,
of left it at that.
okay. I mean, it's fine. I mean, the story wraps up and reaches a nice sort of ending by the time you get about just over halfway. So I think it works.
Hmm.
Um, I'm still gunning for Smeagol to be some sort of like secret final boss.
I had stuff for him that I had to cut out. I was so upset.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so
I really liked him.
he kind of disappears halfway through the story. Like he's still there, but he's not relevant.
Right, right,
That's
right.
because the original plan was halfway through the story he was supposed to get out
Oh, okay.
because he's only there for vandalism.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be there for as long. Yeah.
No, so he was gonna have his whole party and everything, and everyone would Armaldo would be his friend, but everyone else is just kind of
Okay.
lukewarm to him,
Right, right, right,
but
right.
not bully him like everyone has been doing. So then
Yeah.
he would tearfully be released, and that would be the end of him. But didn't get to do it. Him. He probably has the highest likelihood of appearing again.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Actually, I
if
guarantee it.
yeah,
He'll
yeah.
appear again.
Cool,
I'll
cool,
put him in
nice.
somewhere.
Excellent. I love that character, so I'm glad we get to see them again. Um
Mm. Him and Lycanroc were my two favorites.
yeah, I like Lycanroc was brilliant. I don't we definitely won't see him outside, but I he was very fun to play around with and voice act for especially.
Mm.
Um
He's just a happy guy.
he's a very happy guy and he's done nothing wrong. Um
No, nothing at all.
Cool. So, with balancing the hack, I mean, you had a bunch of fixed rooms to deal with, and you obviously could switch out your partner. How difficult was it to get a good balance of difficulty in that? I mean, some of the earlier fixed rooms must have been a bit easier because they were supposed to, sort of ease you into it. But was it very difficult to get the right balance with a lot of these fights?
Yeah, it still kind of is because the final partner you get is very overpowered right now, and I need to find a way. I need to find a way to nerf that.
Yeah, Croconaw
So
is very strong.
yeah, he's supposed to be the support partner, but he gives way too much support,
Yeah,
an overpowered amount of support. So
yeah.
I want him to keep his moveset because I like his moveset, but I got to find a way to bring him down to normal strength.
Yeah, I don't know how you would go about that, but I'm sure you'll figure something out. I can't really think of what I'd do myself, but oh well.
There is one fight which I built specifically to counter the rain dance strategy that you get at the end of the game, but it's still not working. Because it's just I gotta. It's the Hitmontop fight.
Oh right. How does that counter it?
So the counter was Claydol. He's the whole counter because he has skill swap, and which swaps your abilities.
Yeah,
the plan was if you decide to do rain dance and all that, you have swift swim and you have battle armor, which stops you from getting crit. Yeah. And Claydol has Truant. So if he gets the skill swap off, not only do you move at half speed, but now he has swift swim and he can't be crit, and you could be crit, and Hitmontop has focus energy, which is like guarantees a crit.
Yeah. Blimey, yeah. So that would be very dangerous. I think maybe. I mean, it's pretty unlikely to happen though, because obviously, one, they've got to get through Truant to actually use skill swap, and then they've got to get through their other 3 moves to use skill swap.
I do have a very wild idea that I need to test, and that's making the baton pass. If you could put that to affect everyone in the room, right? Which happens in the other fight. I'm wondering, can skill swap do the same thing?
Oh,
and you just play ability roulette with everyone in the room.
I don't even know how that would work. I think that's interesting. Gosh,
so I got to try that.
I'm very intrigued. That sounds like fun. Tell me how that goes.
So
cool.
I want to try that. That sounds like I was talking with someone else, but like I love like train wreck fights like that, where it's just a bunch of shit going on, and like having skill swap. I'd probably give him baton pass too, and the ability that switches stat increases with other Pokemon.
Oh right.
And
is that hot?
I would just have everything just
just
going
mayhem.
crazy in the fight, because Claydol's switching stats, he's switching abilities, he's switching positions. I think that would be fun.
I think that'd be loads of fun, yeah.
But we'll see.
Which was the most difficult part of this hack for you to make? What was the most arduous, the most painful, made you pull your hair out sort of thing?
Oh, the most difficult thing was the whole partner system, to be honest.
Oh, right.
It was such a pain to do, and it still is not 100% working. I mean, it's mostly working. Okay. But that was the hardest thing to make, just because it all goes by scenario bit flags, or talk bit flags, and you need to take into account exactly what time, at any point in the hack, what bit flag is active. Right. And it just gets really confusing to know, like, okay, this happens, so this bit flag is active. But if this one is active, then this needs to happen, and this one and this needs to happen. And there's 4 partners. So you need to plan out a situation for each of the 4 bit flags, because if one thing crashes, the entire system goes down.
Yeah, I bet, yeah. I mean, it was really worth it, though. Being able to switch out partners was really unique and cool, and it was good to be able to strategize with that.
Yeah, I could have done it just by utilizing the vanilla assembly, but I felt like that wouldn't be as cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Don't really know what to say to that. You're just correct. It was very cool to be able to walk around and talk to them and pick them up that way. Cool. So that was the most. Yeah, but it was very worth it to be able to do that, because I mean, again, being able to sort of switch out Pokemon like that and strategize was really cool. So back to that question I mentioned I would ask earlier. If you had, hypothetically, 6 weeks to work on this hack instead of the 3 weeks, and also pretend you have just as much urgency and drive to get it done in time, what would you have done differently? Would you have changed anything? Would you have expanded the scope of the hack? What would you have done?
Anything? I would have just expanded the scope to a ridiculous degree. Like, I would have made it like 25 fights if I could. Oy. And then just And it sounds like a lot when it's not, when there's no dungeons. I don't think it would be that big of a deal. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe I'm
yeah, yeah.
wrong,
I
but
I can't say.
that's basically what I wanted to do, and I would have added more story elements. It's funny because like I intended for this to be like a story driven hack,
Hmm.
and it still kind of is, but I feel like the gameplay is more. I feel like it's more gameplay oriented, which I was not intending, but it just worked out that way.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean, it's sort of suitable in a way because when I've never been to prison, but I have to imagine that being in prison probably feels kind of stale, repetitive in a way. Not to say that your hack is
mm,
stale or repetitive. God, I don't want to give you that impression, but uh, you know, there wouldn't be much story going on in a prison. You're just sort of whiling your time away, and so I feel like the fact that it's a gameplay hack and that the story kind of sort of ended up taking a back seat uh was sort of suitable. If you do you agree with me there, or
believe it, I actually did think of that repetition thing that you just said. Like when
yeah?
you're in prison, I have not been to prison, believe it or not.
Oh really?
Uh, no, I've not. I've been in one, but I've never gone to prison.
Really?
Uh,
You've been
yeah,
in
I
one?
visited one.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Oh,
so that repetition was kind of something that I was going for because, like, when you're in prison, you don't really have much to live for. It's really just like a game of time. Like you're just
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get to
yeah,
the end of your sentence so you can go home.
yeah.
So
I have to
that
imagine
was
that's the
something
case.
that
Yeah.
was in my mind when I was making the hack.
Okay. How long?
And it was like, how
h-
time, I also thought like how time kind of moves way slower when you're in prison than when you're outside. Because when you're outside, times change, people come, people go.
yeah,
And when you're on the inside, everything just stays the same and every day just kind of blends into one
yeah.
experience. So that's kind of my thought process behind the whole thing.
Do you think then if because you said you wanted to go do like a Redux sort of expand it, uh so you'll probably go to that sort of 25 fight limit if you want to. It's limit. Is that what you're planning to do with it then?
I'd probably add a few more fights. I did have a few more ideas for fights that didn't make the cut. One of
All
which
right.
needed ASM, and I'm like, there's no way this is getting done. So I asked Adex too, and he's like, yeah, there's no way.
Okay.
So I'm like,
I
all right,
see.
fair enough.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll probably try to add more stuff in one day, probably when I release part 4 of the main hack,
Okay.
which I did start. Then I'm going to throw in a patch of Outlaw's Paradise, and it'll probably be the remade edition. So it's just one big package.
Cool. Yeah, nice. I think that's a good idea. So 2x deltas in one release, basically.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Cool.
going to try to release it on the 1 year anniversary of the main hack, which is when I released the first demo.
All right.
Which, to be honest, I don't know when that is off the top of
Oh.
my head.
Oh, when you said that, I thought
I
you
think
had
it
a
was
date in mind, but okay.
no,
You
God
actually
no.
know what that is.
I don't pay attention to dates.
Oh.
I don't pay attention to time or the dates. I just exist.
Hell yeah.
Uh, so
I
I'm
like it.
going to find out when that date. I think it's early October, and that
Is
will
that right?
probably be when I want to release part 4 and the remade edition of Outlaw's Paradise.
So how
That'll be
far
the goal.
along with part 4 are you, if I can peek behind the curtain?
Not very,
Not very?
but I didn't work on much of the story yet. But right now I'm working on completely revamping Treasure Town. There's
All
gonna
right.
be there's gonna be more shops, more things to do. The dojo is working, and it was completely redone. So I'm
Oh,
trying to
mate,
make
really?
Treasure Town as enjoyable as possible. Yeah, the
Will that
dojo's got a few new features.
nice, nice. Will that change will that change what Treasure Town sorry, is that change going to be in the game from like this point onwards, or if you when you release that update, if you then restart the hack, will those changes be implemented from the get go?
No, it'll be these changes would only occur after part 3.
Okay.
So if you start from the beginning, you'll still have the normal Treasure Town, and not normal, but my normal.
Cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. How we've sort of moved on to Lonely Roads right now, but that's totally fine. How long do you expect Lonely Roads to be? Do you think it'll be about the same length, dungeon wise, I suppose, as Vanilla Sky, or do you think it'll sort of be longer or?
That is the goal, to make it at least as long, and right now it's at uh 11 dungeons, and Sky has 22. So
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
halfway there, but
You're
I think
halfway there.
I might be going over. And the hag, I think Sky takes about 20 hours to beat, and well, I don't know about 20. Maybe just the main story 20, then plus special episodes probably a lot longer. But with the main hack and the 2 special episodes I have done, not including Outlaw's Paradise, is at about 10 hours.
Cool.
So
And have you got
I'm
the
trying.
whole? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Have you got the whole story of Lonely Roads in your head already? Have you basically planned the whole thing out?
No.
No, you haven't. Really?
I have the ending planned, and I have major plot points done. This is what I did for the whole hack, by the way. I always have the major plot points nailed down, so I know what's going to happen there. But how to get there is what I figure out as I'm writing the scripts.
Okay. I like that. That's yeah. I mean, it's probably a good thing, because if you plan the whole thing out in your head and then you get to like perfectly, if you do the whole thing point to point, and then you go to write it and you realize certain things don't work, it's pretty better to do what you're doing and be flexible with it, I suppose.
Yeah, I have a few major plot points, and I literally don't even plan it out until I'm writing the cutscenes with that goal in mind. Like, I'm trying to get to this point in these cutscenes, and I'll write the cutscenes with that intention. So I don't plan out like any dialogue or any, I really don't plan out much of anything. I kind of just shoot from the hip when I make the hack. I think it's kind of been working so far.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you there. Cool. Speaking of planning stuff, have you already you've released 2 special episodes of Lonely Roads? Have you got the other 3? Because you said you want to fill out all 5 slots. Have you got the other 3 planned out as well? Do you know what they're going to be at least, or are you sort of waiting for inspiration to strike?
I got like 4 or 5 plans. Some of them might just appear in the normal story. Some of them might just get scrapped altogether. But I do have ideas for what I want the rest of them to be, because the original game had 5 special episodes. Why not this game? And the whole main game is supposed to be an alternate version of the original game.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make it as authentic as possible. So yeah, There's going to be 5 plus this now unofficial, official, unofficial special episode, which I guess would be 6, and throw them all together.
Nice, cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the whole thing. I think it's going to be. I really do think you've accomplished what you've set out for, at least so far, with the authentic experience. I really think it's going very well.
I hack really fast too, which helps. Apparently, apparently think I'm fast.
You're a trucker, certainly. I've been working on the 2nd chapter of Infinite Labyrinth for a year now, and I'm only just halfway. So I don't know how you do what you do.
You're halfway through 1 chapter.
We're not here to talk about me.
Oh God. Can we get a release date for when the next part's coming?
I'm
asking the questions now.
Oh, you're asking the questions now, are you? Blimey, I feel the pressure. Let's see. My birthday is on the 13th of July. I don't think I'll get it out by then, but it would be very cool if I did. We'll put it that way.
All right, cool.
But it might be after that. So I'll put a soft 20th of July down, shall I?
20th of July. All right. Let me write that down.
No, don't hold me to that, because I was holding myself to the end of spring, and that certainly didn't happen. We'll see what happens. I'm not. Anyway, this isn't about me. We're here for you, Okami. Goodness.
All right. I told you I'm very good at derailing interviews. It's my specialty.
Yeah. I'm picking up on that. So you worked alone for this hack jam, and you've worked alone on Lonely Roads for a long time now. Will you? Do you think you'll always work alone on making hacks, or do you think maybe for next hack jam or for a project in the future, you might want to team up with someone?
First, it's not totally alone because I have my team of playtesters, which helps, and 8x obviously with support, and Sunk helps out with some dungeon ideas. But when it comes to coding and stuff and actually making it, it's me. But I get a lot of help from people with their input, so that's very helpful. So it's not totally me, but in terms of the thing is, would I make? I don't know if I could do a team for the main hack, because even if it's someone who would be really helpful, like I feel like if you get another person involved, then you lose some degree of control over it.
Yeah.
So when it's just me, like it's super, time consuming because I have to do everything myself aside from, art, which I can just commission and stuff, and play testing. But I just don't think I could get another person, full time on it like I am, just because, it's me.
Yeah. Well, certainly I expected Lonely Roads to continue being your baby until its completion. But it like after you finish Lonely Roads, or maybe for whatever next hack jam is, would you consider it for a completely different project or not?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
I absolutely. Why not? I would work on a team. I would probably be in charge of cutscenes. I would just say, if you want to make dungeons, whoever's on my team, you do it. I can't do it. I hate dungeons. I'm so bad at them.
But I've made 100,000 cutscenes. I'll happily do cutscenes for you. Good stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll do.
I like that.
Someone do the dungeons. Someone do the play testing. I got everything else. Because cutscenes are, and especially. Oh, and one more thing: no one would be allowed to touch NPC dialogue. That is me.
That's 100% you.
Oh yeah,
good stuff.
That would have to be, because that's the number one thing that I like doing is mindless NPC dialogue.
Mindless NPC dialogue. Wait, I think that's a good niche to have. I like that you know exactly what you're good at.
Just because cool. The number one thing I hate in any game is if you talk to a character and they just have nothing interesting to say.
Yeah,
I hate that.
That is not a very good trope in gaming.
So okay, so if they have nothing to say, why are they here? And 90% of the characters in vanilla are they don't do anything. They just exist.
Decorative. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just part of the background. So I try to give everybody some degree of personality and something interesting to say.
Cool. I like that. I like that. That drive to make sure everything feels alive and lived in. You know what I mean? Cool. Right.
That was actually one more thing that bothered me about the main game is you are the only team that does anything in the main game.
Yeah.
And they have a whole guild of other teams. Do they not exist? So I try to make it feel alive as possible, and other teams are doing stuff while your team is doing their own thing,
Yeah, I think the only time I can think of where the guild actually does something, other than the expedition, but even then that's sort of mostly you. But the only time I can think of otherwise is when the guild all goes looking for Groval and the different teams split off to go venture in different places. But even then, they don't accomplish anything other than Bidoof brings back a crystal from Crystal Cave, and the other two teams are unsuccessful. It's
as usual.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit disappointing, but I suppose it would have been very strange for the story if they came back and, we found them and we solved it. But I know what you mean.
Be more realistic for me.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, it doesn't need to be they do the whole thing themselves, but I would want them to at least succeed in something.
Yeah.
That way they prove that they're actually, worthwhile, because if they can't do anything, why are they there? Why doesn't the guild kick them out for being, useless?
Maybe that was the original idea for the special episodes. Maybe it was to give them something to do, like Sunflora and Loudred's.
Oh, it gave Sunflora something to do.
Yeah.
Just the problem wasn't good.
Yeah. Oh, we're not talking about quality. Yes, we are.
Video, he's lucky he's in my hack at all. I hate him so much.
Wow. My baby boy, really?
I cannot stand him. He writes in a
Oh,
diary and says like, you know, oh golly in his diary. Like who does that?
I don't know, Bidoof.
Yeah. Why?
I can write
Or
whatever I want in my
Simplora
diary.
writes oh my gosh in her diary. Like and she even says like, is someone else reading my diary? Oh my god, that's scary. Like why would you even write that? What is
I don't
wrong with
know.
you?
I don't know. They're magical Pokemon. They do as they please. I
No,
suppose.
they just bother me. The only good
Quite
member
agree.
of the guild is Corfish. She's cool.
Yeah, correct. Right. So I think we're coming up to the end of the interview, more or less. Um, so
I know we went into a lot of subjects here
we certainly did. We
that were
certainly did.
not my hack.
Let me ask this question to end off though. Why will Outlaws Paradise and Lonely Roads win Hack Jam 5? If you could sum up in a sentence why it'll be the winner of all categories, why would that be?
Well, it's not going to win best dungeon because there are none.
Oh, yeah. The other ones.
But the thing is, like, if it does win, I hope it's because I like building off of the main game and giving these characters, more things to do and new life rather than just create a completely original story. Because, like, at the end of the day, the original story, it can only go so long and then it ends. But when you build off of the main game's characters, you know, I'm building off of what Toonstuff already did, and the
Yeah.
story goes much farther. So I'm hoping it's for the story purposes, just because everyone loves, most people love a lot of the characters from the original game, and I just like building off of what I already have, and
Nice.
hopefully the gimmick is fun,
Cool.
the
So
partner thing.
it'll win because people love Almaldo and people have what you've done with Almaldo, and the gimmick is really fun.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, I think you've got a good shot, if I'm being honest with you.
Hey,
To be perfectly candid.
that's it. I am I do have fun reading people's input on it and like the reviews and stuff because
Yeah.
like even if it's like negative reviews, which I haven't seen many, but like
Oh,
I even like getting negative criticism because like it's very hard to get negative criticism because people are too nice and
yeah.
like I want sometimes I'm looking for something negative just because I want to fix whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
So,
I
I really
mean,
like reading everyone's reviews and stuff of the stuff that I make.
that is really one of the best parts about about the Sky Temple community, though. There's just everyone is so nice, and
Mm.
obviously it works. People can be too nice, as you just said. Sometimes you want negative criticism, but you
I'm
never.
like, bro, find something wrong with it, please.
I've never seen any hack ever get hate though. That's never. I've never even.
Nah,
Usually you think, oh, I won't be able to escape hate for this somehow, but it's never happened. I don't think it's ever happened to anyone as far as I know. But
no one has ever said a hack sucks. I mean, I've seen people say, this hack wasn't for me or didn't really
yeah.
care for this, but like, I've never seen anyone, bash a hack or something.
No, I don't think it's ever happened. Yeah. Cool.
Nah,
Well,
but yeah, sometimes I'm like, find something wrong with what I made, please. It can't be
yeah,
perfect. It's impossible.
it can't be fun. It's absolutely impossible, like you said.
Mm.
Well, this was really fun. I hope this. I hope you're happy with this. How this interview went. Do you have any sort of closing statements? Anything else you want to bring up before we leave it off?
That's pretty much it. I mean, the only thing is like I hope that if people play this hack without playing the main hack, hopefully that gets a little more interest in the main hack because that is like the main attraction. So hopefully, if people enjoy Outlaw's Paradise, they go because you do miss some context in Outlaw's Paradise if you haven't played Lonely Roads,
Yeah.
and hopefully that if people like it, they go see what the main hack is like.
Cool. Yeah, I certainly would encourage everyone listening. If you've not played Lonely Roads, I would really suggest it. I'd highly suggest it. It's a very good experience and a very nice sort of remake of the original Vanilla Sky's story. I think it's done. I think it's done very well, and I encourage you all to check it out. But for
And
now,
everyone check out Infinite Labyrinth.
oh,
Everyone
thank you.
check out Infinite Labyrinth.
Please check out the one chapter I've released of Infinite Labyrinth.
Actually, that reminds me. So, Infinite Labyrinth is like a crime story.
It is a bit, yeah.
We can do a little crossover, maybe. I actually told you I was going to maybe put an Infinite Labyrinth team in the hack.
Yeah, but
in Outlaw's Paradise.
But Sandslash was already in Lonely Road, so you didn't want to put them in again.
He was, and I don't like reusing characters.
I get it. That's fine. Anyway, thank you so much for doing this interview with me, Okami. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I hope you've had a good time too.
Yeah, it was cool. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So yeah, yes. Oh god, ending these interviews. I'm not good at this. Yeah, I encourage everyone once again to check out Lonely Roads. I hope you've all enjoyed Outlaw's Paradise as well. And another huge round of applause to everyone who submitted hacks for the Hack Jam. The entries for this year have been so strong. And thanks once again to Okami for... Pardon?
We broke 12.
Oh, we certainly did break 12. We got 20 hacks. It's incredible. And thanks once again to Okami for being in this interview with me.
All right, later.
Bye-bye. Excellent. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoyed hosting. Okami is a very chill guy, very lovely. And I'm really looking forward to what he has to release next. If you guys have not played the main Lonely Road story, I really would suggest it. It's a very good time. As for right now, though, if you guys go down to the description, you'll notice I've added a couple of things. There is a link to the main SkyTemple website, as well as a link to the community vote form for the 5th Hack Jam. So there are some wonderful hacks in this Hack Jam. So if you could vote in that would be amazing. I've also included some links to my own personal stuff. There's my YouTube channel where you can see uploads of the other Hack Jam games. There's a link to my Twitch where you can watch me play live. I stream every weekday at 7 p.m. GMT. Although it's summertime right now, so it's GMT plus 1, just to be confusing. Have fun. There's also a link to my Discord. You'll never miss me streaming if you go on that. I always post on there. It's not a very lively channel, but I always post on it. As for the next interview, it will be on the hack Dispirited Ties by Ekla and Professor Ambush. It was a really good interview, so I'm looking forward to that one. I hope you check it out, and I'll see you all then. Okay, right, bye!